development, ideas, innovations, combinations, and collaborations of anybody in the whole country. And fortunately, we have a man in the U.S. Senate right now named Tim Scott, who is the right man in the right place at the right time. And what he has done, he has led the way for this piece of legislation that will transform South Carolina and the United States. But no one will get ahead of South Carolina because of the people you see here, because of the experience that we have in economic development, because of the understanding we have about collaboration and cooperation, talking to each other and working together at all levels of government and the private sector. We are able to move quicker, faster, with more deliberation than anyone else. So what Senator Scott has done, it will be transformative for the state of South Carolina. For businesses to grow and develop and to hire people with good jobs that allows all kind of good things to happen in our state. Everything gets better when people have paychecks, people are working, they're happy. Divorce rates go down, marriage rates go up, drug usage goes down, criminal behavior lessens, education gets better. It's all good. So this gives us the extra punch, the extra opportunity that will transform economic growth and development and usher in one more tool to usher in a new era of prosperity in South Carolina. And I'd like to call on some of the people who have been and will be deeply involved in this, starting with Congressman Ralph Norman.
Thank you, Governor. This is a great day for South Carolina. It's a great day for Fairfield County. You know, I toured the BC Summer Plant, and I said, you know, really, we can do better than this. And it starts with just what Governor McMaster said. Business is invested. And I want to echo what he said about Senator Scott. It was because of him that he put this provision in there that a company can come here, invest in Fairfield County, invest in infrastructure, and attract businesses that will do what the governor said. It's such a great thing. It's how this economy is built. It's how it's going to continue to thrive, and it's just the boost that Fairfield County needs. And I want to thank the local delegation, Mary Gale, you and Michael, and I tell you, there's no better proponent than Bobby Hitt. And I was telling Bobby, we were talking, I was in Washington, D.C., and I think it was a group from Myrtle Beach came up, and they had some deals on the table, and their first word was, we're going to get Bobby Hitt involved, because he understands business, he understands what it takes to land quality businesses, so we're glad to have him. And with that, Secretary Hitt.
Bobby Hitt.
First, let me give everybody in the press a little bit of hope. Recycled journalists can actually achieve something. You get politicians to say nice things about it. So, this is a really cool program. So what I want to do is give you a little description as to how it works, because it's not an ordinary type of incentive program we have at the Department of Commerce. In the, it's actually on page 130 of the tax cut law that was passed late last year, is this provision for opportunity zones. And the way the opportunity zones work is they're based on census tracts. And so what we did as a department at the request of the governor and the governor's office, working with Senator Scott and others, is to take a look at all the census tracts in the state that would qualify based on the parameters. Then we took those and sent them out to our team of economic developers in each of the counties. Ty Davenport sent it, we sent it to his office so he and Jason and others could look at it along with the Association of Counties and the Municipal Association, so that we went to our teams that are out in the state and said, these are our eligible census tracts. We would like for y'all to prioritize them based on activity and infrastructure that you have in your counties. In other words, we wanted to look for the tracts where we would have the best likelihood of success, not just pan them out and just hand them out, but where could we have success? And no one knows that better than our local teams in economic development and in our counties and cities. And so the cities and the counties all did their ratings. We brought those back in. We assembled them, looked at them from a general merit point of view in terms of how they'd be distributed. I'm very proud that we were in all 46 counties. We have the maps and other things that people can see. And this gives the investor, this is not government money, this is a private partnership investment. So in these designated zones, in these cities and counties in our state, a private investor who has a capital gain, meaning they sold an asset, they have some profit, can take that profit and invest it in a new investment in one of these zones, and the longer they leave their investment there, the better tax benefit they get. So I think they have to have investment in place for at least 5 years. So this is not just about industrial, which is primarily where our team works directly, but it also could involve retail, could involve professional office, a dental office, an apartment complex, almost anything that an investor wants to do in a designated zone in concert with the local authorities. So I think this is a wide, flexible device. Now, why is this important in the context of our some of the areas of our cities and counties and state that want to attract investment? It's hard to attract investment into some of our rural areas. It's hard to attract investment in some of our less affluent areas. This is the type of incentive that will cause someone to say, hey, I got an idea. Or a group of people, and also another opportunity for Ty and I and his counterparts in the other 45 counties to look at ways to promote opportunities in the counties. It also helps the county councils and the local delegations look at where we have put our effort in terms of our infrastructure to make sure we're ready. Winning in economic development is about two things: being ready and being lucky. We're ready, and we're pretty damn lucky too. Anyway, with that, I'd like to turn it over to Senator Fanning. I'll be glad to answer some questions after everyone's done.
When spider webs unite, they can tie up a lion. When spider webs unite, they can tie up a lion. It's an old Ethiopian proverb, but it describes what's happening right here today in South Carolina and here in Fairfield County. We've got some lions across this state, Governor, do we not?
Yes.
We've got some lions right here in Fairfield County. Our Mack truck plant closing, and oldest, biggest open facility in the state. Walmart coming in and shutting our small business down and then leaving us high and dry. And in the VC summer, the SCANA fiasco that has abandoned this county. But I want to stand here today and thank one man, Governor Henry McMaster, who the very day the VC summer plant closed, he called me into his office and said, we're going to tackle that lion. And the team that you see standing here today is the team that is formed behind our governor to make sure that we are proactive in solving the problems, not just of the state, but you'll never find a bigger example than Fairfield County that was way low in unemployment. Now we're #1 in the state. A county with 2/3 of the county without water or sewer, and then an abandonment by VC Sumner. But today is a new day. Governor McMaster, back on July 31st, promised us job recruitment, and we had 3 job fairs within 2 weeks. Promised us a laser beam focus on being proactive of solving crises down the road. But today turns that narrative into the future. Bobby Hitt just described the opportunities that exist in opportunity zones. We need investment here in South Carolina, and no place more than in Fairfield County. And today's announcement about all of the opportunity zones could have been made anywhere in the state. But Governor, we thank you for making that announcement here in Fairfield County, because investment into a county that has so much resources, great people, and great opportunities, and a great team of folks from our school board and superintendent who are here, our county council that is united like never before, Jason and Ty that are working at the local level. We appreciate having leaders like Senator Scott and Congressman Norman that have our backs. Mary Gail and I both appreciate that leadership. Today we stand united, focused on the idea that investment coming in can turn our state and our county around. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Let me give you just a few statistics. We have in our state, Mr. Hitt, listen up and be sure. We have 1,097 census tracts. Those that fit the definition of distress were 538. We were allowed to select 25%. And as Bobby Hitt outlined, we got information from all over the place. Everyone was asked to send in information, and they did. We selected 135 of those tracts based on those definitions. 128 are distressed or severely distressed, and 7 are contiguous to them but not quite as distressed, but have needs and have great opportunity for advancing. So that's the way it works. Every city, every municipality, every county that sent in requests got at least their first or second choice covered in this. And if you look at the numbers as well, you will see that this is a masterful job of picking the right places. Great congratulations to Bobby Hitt and the Department of Commerce, as well as to Team South Carolina. If you look at the districts and keep in mind the rural areas of South Carolina that really need the most help, you will see that the 5th district and the 6th district were the ones that received the largest share of these opportunity zones. So this is a great day. This is a great step forward, and many great steps forward, and there will be more. This is not the end. This is another new beginning for South Carolina. Any questions?
Governor, do we know yet of any businesses that are looking at Fairfield County because of this opportunity?
That would be a question for Bobby Hitt.
There are businesses looking in all counties in South Carolina, and when they're ready to announce, you'll hear about it.
But there's some out there.
Oh, yes. We have many projects right now.
Secretary Hitt, obviously using tax incentives itself, well, this is a new idea. The concept of using tax incentives to lure businesses to rural areas is not itself new. What makes you confident that this time it would be different with the other challenges Fairfield County is facing?
Well, all of our counties are rated by the Department of Revenue, and based on their rating, the incentives are somewhat weighted toward the rural areas. So the rural areas have always had a little bit of an advantage. The disadvantages many rural areas have, and Fairfield is not one, is that a lot of them don't have as good a transportation opportunity as, say, Fairfield did. All of y'all took the exit right down the road and came here. So Fairfield, I think, is well placed to be very successful in the growth that we see in South Carolina business. Number one, it's sitting right on top of 1 million people called the Greater Columbia area, which is a pretty large workforce. So large companies could see Fairfield County as a very good place to be, and we're working on that.
And obviously, but those things like the interstate, that's been here for years. So what about this program that makes you more
Well, now,
confident?
this particular program is a little different focus than what we traditionally do. The reason I brought it up earlier. This is private investors who would choose to make an investment in a place because there's certain tax advantages for them as an individual, not for the business unless they happen to own the business. But they could be someone who builds a facility and someone else operates out of it. But it could be residential or it could be business. Traditionally, when we talk about tax incentives, almost all of our tax incentives, all that the Department of Commerce does, are for infrastructure. So yes, we have a nice road out there, but we had to have a road to come into this park, and we had to build this park. This park was built probably 7 or 8 years ago. We recruited the company that's across the way there, and we still hope to fill it up. So we look forward to more opportunities here. But our infrastructure money, our incentive money is used for infrastructure. Companies that create jobs get tax rebates from the Department of Revenue for creating a job, and that money goes back to them. The rest of the money is used for public infrastructure.
And there's another part of that answer. You're correct, it was, similar things have been tried before, notably in the late 80s when Jack Kemp and others created a legislation called creating empowerment zones. But the difference was there was not a supportive Congress at the time, so the program floundered and did not make the progress it should have. Another difference is that was then and this is now. That was in the 80s. This is 2018, and we in South Carolina have a team, we call it Team South Carolina, that is better, strong, and disciplined, and experienced in this more than anyone else in the United States. So this is something we've been waiting for. This is something that the people in our state know precisely what to do with it, and as you can tell, we're 100% ready. We've got great people that are willing and ready to put this into operation.
Let me add, last year, the governor, who is the head of Team South Carolina, together, we did $5 billion worth of new investment in this state. We have companies all over the world looking at South Carolina now. We're investing in our port. We've drawn a lot of attention from all around the world. The reason that I think this is gonna work for us, and the reason we moved as quickly as we did, and I believe we may be the first state that has completed